This is a very big disclaimer. We don't know shit. See, the internet has a bad problem of if we don't know everything about a situation that disproves something, we're immediately like, oh, okay, so it's proven, right? Wrong. We don't know much of anything. We really don't know shit about the situation, the conclusion, if Amy is real, if she's Amy, they're Amy, if I'm Amy, we don't know. We literally don't know. So if anybody's going around telling you that it's basically confirmed that it's her, it's really not. It's really not. There's a hunch that it's her. The information that does have it point to being her, and it does seem really sus. However, there are ways around this to where it can't be her. Now, do I believe it? Should you believe that? Is it okay that you don't believe that? You watch the rest of the video and you'll figure it out. This whole thing is tiring. I feel like for everyone. You're constantly reading tweets, threads, responses, watching videos. It's tiring. So forgive me if there are times where I cut in and I sound like I'm exhausted. There are times where my stutter is coming in strong. There are times where you can barely understand me. I try to re-record as much as I could so I could be, I could be understood, It just is a lot. And stuff is still coming out, but I think I've taken all of the relevant, important information for you to understand everything that's happened and put it into a video that is digestible enough with my own opinions. I think I did that. I think I did it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But before this video starts, one, this is dumb. And this is why I'm addressing this first. I used this beautiful person's artwork in my thumbnail. Now, she's already addressed this on Twitter and said that she's very much cool with people using the artwork. She just was worried that people might associate her as a supporter of Shannon because of it. The worst part about that is I think everybody was like, yeah, I could see that. If you're that dumb, I can't help you. No one can, and we will actively shit on you. Don't do that shit. That's like saying I made fan art for somebody that I didn't know was a murderer, so I must be in support of their murder. What? No. Huh? So, if nothing, go show that person some love. Because it's stupid that this community is so toxic that they even had to worry about that. That even crossed their mind, and it even crossed everybody else's mind. Yeah, we should probably take your art out of the thumbnail because people will start doing stuff like that. Because you're crazy. And I'm not sitting here gonna feed into that. If you do it, I'm gonna shit on you. If you do it, everybody else is gonna shit on you. I'm not gonna actively even tolerate that. So I'm using the stuff in the thumbnail. At first I wasn't gonna, but then it was she was like, it's cool. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'll actively I'll harass some people. No, I'm kidding. But I'll actively shit on people who do that. Second of all, when it comes to Emily, I may not see it exactly the way she does, this entire situation, and you'll hear my opinions about it closer to the end. And even though I may not see exactly what she's seeing and see it eye to eye, the way she sees it does not mean I am trying to diminish nor push aside her feelings. She did go through something traumatic, and I would never say I don't believe her on that. Who did it and the situation surrounding it, then yeah, I would have to question it. A lot of it, in my opinion, is speculation, but again, you'll hear that more closer to the end after we talk about all the information. But I support her, and if she wants to do any legal action, if she wants to feel her feel, I totally support all of that. And you should go send her some love. When it comes to her friends and the people around her, I get that you all are hurting and you're feeling some type of way, and that a lot of you are angry when people are pushing you to make videos. I get it. That's not what I was trying to do when I said a lot of her friends are really, really quiet. I meant, even if your statement was just, let me process this, I'm like, okay, I take that. I take that, let me process all of this as okay, I'll wait for you. Whether you were in support of her, whether you were skeptical, whether you wanted to hear all the information out, we just wanted a response. But when it comes to the people even that I referenced in this video, obviously they're the people who have, talked out ready to glare. You know what I mean? They've said something, even if it's just let me process this, I can't believe, just something. But go send them some love. So I just want to say all of that before we get started. And this has been a long process, getting these receipts, getting past my stutter and reading all of this. And a lovely person is going to help me read this as well. And I'm going to link their stuff in the description because them reading some of these things was actually very helpful for me. I did pay them because I was like, bitch, Thank you. No more hoarse voice for me. Also, I didn't realize that the word spaz and spur were, I guess, derogatory terms in like the autistic community. I didn't know this. I genuinely didn't. I thought it meant like spasm, like a muscle spasm, like a Charlie horse. I get them all the time. I assumed that's what it was, but Google is your friend, and you probably should look that up. So my bad. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I never heard it used in that way. So I guess I never thought that that's the way it was originally used. Okay, well, that's a eye opener for me. I guess I'm dumb. Anyway, all right. Hi guys, it's Luna, and boy am I tired. I'm laying down for this because there's no way I'm gonna do this all in one sitting, I'm sure. And even if I do, I'm way too tired to get up and actually make a proper, like, I look professional type video. About 4 days ago, I believe, CreepShowArt made a community post talking about a stalker that she's previously talked about. We name her Amy. So I'm making Amy puns, that's who we were talking about.
This post just going up because I need to talk about this and let you know what's going on. Earlier today, I got a message saying that I had doxed a relative, that I called out saying certain things about myself and other creators and more. I was confused because I hadn't done that. I would remember doing that, especially the doxing. This was so firmly against what I stand for that I don't believe in doing that, even to someone I loathe. However, after being sent screenshots of what I allegedly said about me, myself, my friends, and most importantly, my relative, I realized what happened. A couple years back, I made a video about how I've been stalked for over 8 years by a woman called Amy. That is not her real name because I was protecting her identity. I talked in detail about the situation, how it affected me and what I had to do in the situation to keep myself safe. But I also discussed how Amy and I kind of recoiled at the end of that and came to an understanding. She even liked the video and supported me making it. We kept in contact over a past couple years, and we kept a good amount of distance between letting her close enough to hurt me again. Apparently, I'm really shitty at that. Obviously, I was wrong because she has gone back doing what she has always done, which is to try to hurt me, try to turn the people in my life against me, and salivate at the idea of me losing everything. She did this for years, even when I didn't have anything, to the point where I was dating my husband. She sent him a text message telling him I was a horrible person and he should leave me. She made fake Facebook accounts to tell people about what a terrible person I was. And just that, she spent years fucking with me, nonstop, to the point where I just wanted to end it. I had a sneaky suspicion she has been going back to this earlier this year when I started receiving more and more images of self-harm and abuse in my inbox, because that was one of my biggest things she would do to me. It's why I had to shut down my Instagram and low-key why I had to shut down my Twitter. It's stated publicly and behind the scenes that the amount of harassment I've received has gone down 100% when I deleted Twitter, and I know why, because of Amy. When she was harassing me in high school, I would get many images of self-harm and self-injury that would cause me to shut down emotionally, and I had to confide in her back when we were friends, and that was one of my biggest sore spots. Seeing something like that was just a number one way to hurt me online. So when it started happening in excess again, I started to think that maybe it was her. Maybe she has gone back to the way of being. But I didn't want to think that because we had been so good the last time we talked. The last time we emailed it has been her catching me up on her life and me doing the same back. I didn't know she was going to use everything to try to paint me as something I am not. And I didn't think that I needed to use a VPN so she wouldn't get my IP address. She has shown me pictures of her daughter and have been supportive of my channel. I thought we were okay. But I was wrong because she has been posting on certain sites, posting about me, spoofing my IP, doxing my family members, writing things about myself and my friends, sending me death threats from other accounts, making false accounts to spam my comment section, spamming the comment section of my friends saying hateful things about me in order to get them to drop me, and just all around doing what she did years ago. But that's not it, of course. But that's the amount of time and energy she had to put into this is well beyond what I thought she was capable of. And as far as I can tell, She's been doing this for well over a couple of years. I don't know how she did it. I don't know why she did it. But at the moment my relative was brought up, I knew it was her. She has literally always been obsessed with my relative, to the point of constantly bringing them up in our conversations, asking me about them, and using them to hurt me even through high school. So I sent out a cease and desist, and if it comes to it, I will be filing a full restraining order. I don't want to have to do that because she has a daughter and this will go on her record, which will keep her from being able to get a job and providing for her child, and I keep going in circles in my head about this because I don't know what's right in this situation, but I also don't want this to continue. I just want this to be done. All I've ever wanted was for this to be done, and it's getting to the point where I feel I have to protect myself and my family. I completely understand if no one believes me. I understand if I lose friends over this, but the fact it's been over 10 years of this shit is exhausting. The fact that 2 fucking years ago, I made a video about this exact thing happening, about this person doing this to me, going through these extremes, hopefully says a lot. This has been going on for nearly half of my fucking life, and I'm tired of it. I'm going to be keeping the rest of this offline, where it belongs. So if you have questions, I'm sorry, but I want to address it. Again, I talked about this 2 fucking years ago, only to have her go around and do this shit again. I am learning every day how much time she dedicates to harassing me, and it goes deeper than I ever thought.
Amy was a stalker Shannon has had for 8+ years, she claims. And the community post basically waters down to Shannon telling us she believes Amy is at her usual stalker ways again, sending her self-harm images, sending her nasty messages, but this time she believes she has gone too far. She believes she's been posting on a forum that we know as Lolcow, saying the most disgusting things and doxing her sister. And at this point, Shannon's fed up with it, but she doesn't know what to do because she doesn't want to put out a restraining order on Amy because she believes that she won't be able to work because of that or feed her child. But also, it's been 8 years and she's tired. She just wanted people to know because there's obviously been some weird activity going on with her channel that I didn't even know about. Apparently, her channel was hacked at one point. I'm sorry. They hack into the mainframe too there, Shannon? Excuse me, sorry. Just those hackers and, they're hacking JPEGs and their pixels. I love when people do that and don't erase any of my videos or anything. Back to what I was saying. Then they took her pictures down and put a bunch of pixelated hacker-esque pictures up, but then it wasn't hacked, but then her community post left and she didn't know what happened. Then apparently even her Instagram was hacked at one point, but then she got it back and it's a whole thing. A lot of stuff happened. Anyways, over the past 4 days, she even said in her community post that she will not be responding about this because she's going to handle this kind of privately. She just wants people to know. So with that being said, she did have a previous drama with the girl, Hello Leash, I think it was. I'll put her on screen. She had a drama with the girl a while ago, but that past drama she was responding to in her comments, I noticed right away. But anything else, she was not responding to at all. The way I saw and heard about this drama was because I follow one of her friends, Ray DeGlaire. Ray DeGlaire made a post about this specific community tab post that she made regarding her stalker and the situation and told people to go send her love.
Please go and give Shannon, CreepShowArt, some love on Instagram and YouTube. She deserves it. Reposting what she put on YouTube.
Many people were very sus of the situation and started pointing out flaws and problems with this in the comments, and even someone like Petty Page, which I follow, was like, this doesn't sound right, and explained how could this hacker do all of this? It just doesn't make any sense. Keep in mind, it's all under the theory that she has been IP banned, which has not been confirmed by anyone. Even if you take what Shannon said in her post, still isn't really confirmed. She could just be stupid and not know how IP works, as most people people didn't. But also, she later clarifies that it's possible it would just, like, the person would have to have your device to copy it down. It's a whole thing. It still would be increasingly difficult. And later, my boyfriend did explain it to me because he knows about this type of stuff, and I just listen to him when it comes to anything about a computer. And he basically told me the same thing. Like, if it was ever confirmed that that was her IP, then it could possibly be her. But knowing what we know now, obviously, knowing that there might be an extra person, well, no, we now know that there's an extra person involved, and it's starting to look a little less impossible. We'll get to that when we get to it. How could the stalker do all of these things? If you don't know what I mean by hacking, also in that community tab, which I don't know if I mentioned or not, but I'm pretty sure I didn't, she claimed that Amy spoofed her IP, so it made it look like she is posting in these Lolcow forums. Oh, yes. Let's talk about Amy for a second. You hear basketball, my life is suffering, so for some reason, instead of going to the playground with the basketball hoop, they want to bring a basketball hoop here. Still let kids play with it, so COVID's still... Enough with my basketball problems. Let's talk about Amy. If you don't know, Amy is a character that has been around in Shannon's life for, allegedly, 8+ years. The first time we heard about Amy was in a story time of Shannon's. And she's made, I think, 1 or 2 more after the fact. But to summarize it, so you don't have to watch the video, this all started because Shannon met Amy online. Of course she did. And started corresponding with her. Shannon thought Amy's life was so great because hot emo boys are fighting over me. That is not a joke. In the story time, she talked about how dead ass she was just really jealous of this girl and started lying to up the ante of it. Like, what? That Shannon thought it would be a good idea to make shit up about her own life to somehow be in competition with Amy. Eventually, Shannon was caught in her bullshit, ended up lying and shitting on her friends just to have a good enough excuse of why her friends weren't in her life when it came to these boys. And Shannon lies more to the point where Amy, because at this point Amy wasn't the understanding that her friends were assholes, went and threatened her friends. And when I say threatened, I mean basically just told them that they were going to beat their ass and that they were terrible people. And because Shannon was now confronted with her lies, she lied to her friends, and obviously she had to tell Amy the truth. From what I understand, did not tell her friends the truth, just told Amy. Amy was obviously livid and called the bitch every name under the sun. And apparently that's where all the stuff Amy did stemmed from. Now, I know I should be going on with the rest so we can summarize it, but let's be 100% here. Other than some of the actions Amy did, that I'll tell you about in a second, can you blame her? Because the going on Facebook on separate accounts and telling people that they're terrible people, apparently she only did that because Shannon blocked her. So again, if some bitch lied to me about her friends being shitty and then lied to her friends, yeah, I'd want to tell her friends that she's a shitty person because it's a shitty thing to do. Now keep in mind, we don't know if the story is true or not. We don't know who Amy is. We don't know if she made Amy up, the story up, whatever. This is just going off of the video Shannon posted about her stalker for 8+ years. Now later, Shannon did say that the girl sent her messages almost every day telling her to kill herself, telling her, you know, fat, ugly cow, like just going off on her and in on her for over the course of many years afterwards. Or it might have been like 1 or 2. My point is, it was wild. Just emailing her constantly. At first she didn't know it was her, but obviously at one point she connected the dots. But at the end, she contacted Amy, gave her an apology. Amy apologized as well, and they reconciled. I believe Amy also got her boyfriend's number and texted him and told him that she's a bad person. I believe also Amy was in a catfishing story time. Like, Amy was brought up a few times on Shannon's channel. But as far as we all understood, they were on good terms. And as we read in the post, they're not anymore. And there are questions, like at one point Shannon said in that video she didn't have screenshots because she deleted all the emails. She could always show us the text messages and conversations from Amy recently that she's been having, since she's still in like contact with her, and that could help like at least show that Amy exists or something. But those messages would have to date back as far as like years. It would have to. Like, it can't just be like, oh, here's a message from recently, because then you could easily fake that shit. She could show us the Facebook message she claimed she sent Amy if she still has her Facebook. Like, there are ways at least she could show Amy exists from that front, but you know. I don't think she will. And there are some lines in her original community post that didn't even really match up to the story and what she said Amy did in the story, because I don't ever remember hearing that. But she obviously could have left those things out. I mean, I feel like if she was obsessed with your relative, leaving that out of a story time about her being crazy is weird. But maybe it's just me being a little bit of conspiracy theorist there. Anyways, going back, talking about the IP stuff, you'd have to have time to do it. And sure, that's her stalker and she's had time, but she would have to have time and do it multiple times. And also, it was from different devices, so it wasn't even just from a one device. Like, it's just really improbable that somebody's going to hack your phone, your laptop, everything, and do that if you move or whatever, just to post on Lolcow. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why would someone do all that work just to post on Lolcow? Because it's not like she doxed the relative immediately. Then maybe we could make some sense of that. It was literally like she just shat on people on Lolcow and did all that work just for that. Didn't dox CreepShow, didn't dox CreepShow's family. Apparently they have the phone number of the boyfriend, didn't dox his number. Just for years and years shat on other people in this weird scheme to ruin her reputation. Hell, it'd even make more sense to spoof her friend's stuff and then get their shit and dox that to make it seem like CreepShow did it. There are other ways this person could have did this that would have made a lot more sense and would have actually took the time to ruin their reputation. Posting dumb shit only on Lolcow forums and not even anywhere else from what we know. It just doesn't make sense. It's improbable. It's not impossible. But why would they do it? It just, to many people, just didn't make any sense or just didn't add up. But at this point, I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about still. So, you guys know me. I'm the queen of looking into shit when I really shouldn't be. So of course I looked into this. I went on forum, so there's a Twitter thread about this, to just searching up her name on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere to see what people are saying, what links they have, screenshots. I've seen so much. I went through the entire tea of what they allege to be the known posts of her on Lolcow. I read them all. I cross-referenced things. It was so much because I'm bored and have nothing to do, nothing better to do. But to tie this back to what I was saying earlier, the admin on Lolcow actually ended up just saying like, hey, if what you're saying is what you're saying, that means that your stalker Amy has been posting as you for 2+ years. It's been over like 200 plus posts, almost 300, and she's been talking about intimate dramas and things like that. Like, if that's what you're saying, that she's been spoofing your IP for that long while also promoting you, like legit promoting her, defending her, and all kinds, then I don't get it. If you want to make up that lie, I guess, and you've already confirmed that this IP is yours, so I mean, if that's what you want to go with, deny, and die with a lie, I guess. And so most people are in almost agreement that this smells like my 12-year-old autistic cousin did it. John Swan type shit. That's what this smells like. So now I'm going to read to you some entries from the Lolcow forum. And I say some because I did not realize it was over 200 pages. And while I'm cool with actually reading it myself, by myself, reading it out loud to you guys, all of it, who has time? I don't. Can you believe that? Can you imagine? I don't have time. I'm gonna link someone's video in the description. I'm gonna read you the messages from this I find interesting because I'm doing psychopathic behavior again and I can't do it. I have 42 folders for each person, each scenario. Let's talk first about her friends because I'm gonna be talking about them also at the end. So let's talk about them first. She has made comments against people like her friend D'Angelo Wallace. You know, most people know him nowadays anyways, immediately for the Shane Dawson stuff. Most people think he's great. I mean, disagreement. Most people think he's great.
He's worse than CreepShow. At least she had the ability to grow and is doing something completely different than what she started with anyways. He's doing the same thing on repeat, acting like he's doing something big, and now admit to creeping on Lolcow.
don't know what this voice is, by the way. I'm tired, so just, you're gonna have to deal.
D'Angelo is the guy that everyone pretends to like, but no one really does. He tried to get in real tight with a lot of them, and because he talked about drama and made Holly look like a tool, they befriended him. For safety, of course. I think Holly sucks, but before...
HUD? You're gonna see this a lot. Me being absolutely confused on what they mean. His video. Okay, I think I got it.
Before his video came out, no one in the community said shit. Then she decided to rebrand and delete, and it's pretty much at zero still. They're all scared of that.
Also talked about our goth queen herself. Why, I don't know. Ray to Glare. That friend? That decent person?
She is too. Women are predators too, guys, as Blair White is too. These trans people are weird.
And then there's a person called Racist Uncle. I don't know who that is as well. I don't know who a lot of people are, honestly, in this thing. But I don't know who Racist Uncle is. But she then, whoever this is, went to go insult their husband in part of this thread, because they were actually a good bit of the thread. Again, it went from like critiquing art to just being like rude.
I like how the other comments in this thread talk about men fetishizing lesbians. I mean, for Christ's sake, it's always in the top 5 category for Pornhub. No insane person cares Holly is a Cujo. I don't know what that means. Only fake boys would whine about something like this.
No, I didn't know this. Fake boys apparently is a slur towards trans men. I didn't know this. I don't know. I try not to learn slurs, you know. They also say, again, whoever they are.
Who's gonna talk about the fact that Racist Uncle is in a green card married with a fat autistic man who has a hand fetish?
I didn't know it was that serious. I don't, whoever you, I didn't know that was that serious. Why would we say that? Why?
I mean, you could ask Racist Uncle the same question about why she's so obsessed with Holly Brown. She even goes through her hour-long live streams and is obsessed with every little thing about her. Really though? I understand Holly Brown has several threads here. She's milky and cringy.
I don't know what milky is still to this day. Like, I don't really get it. I guess it's a Lolcow term because the cows and milky, I assume it's he. I don't go on here, that obvious.
Racist Uncle is just like chubby, ugly, bad at art, yet also has tricked herself into thinking she's good and she's a pick-me while you're at it.
I'm like, okay, I guess it's that serious. She talked about a YouTuber that I don't know as well. I don't even want to begin to fucking pronounce that because I know I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm too tired to get that right.
So uses those filters that beauty YouTubers use in order to appear younger and more attractive. That's so weird. He literally has the most fucked up skin I've seen on an Asian man. The fact that the difference is that bad is insane.
And she was using the word tranny when it came to Racist Uncle's partner or whatever. And I'm like, is it ever this serious? I honestly was gonna go into like the comments about Peaches. I guess I could try to find some that are interesting. Like with Peaches, she talks about basically how she's just like a fake ass bitch, let's be honest. And that she's basically just like a CreepShow clone and that she's low-key just like sucking her ass. And she calls herself a 4-kid CreepShowArt and how like it's obvious that they're just like Peaches sucks pretty much. Like she never liked Peaches, whoever this is. Like
she has 1,000 subscribers and acts like a baby. I just checked and despite the tweet at CreepShowArt before this, she posted this and now doesn't follow her at all. But keep talking about how someone she admires disappointed her and she was shaking and crying talking about it. What a cow.
Like I don't know why this person's favorite word is cow, but she calls Toby and Peaches, I'm pretty sure, cows many a time. She calls a lot of people cows actually. Like
I'm so glad she's calling out Peaches now. Peaches is such a leech.
Like in the Peaches and especially the Toby tweets, less hating on Shannon that I've ever seen, but to be fair, most people weren't. When it comes to Peaches and Toby specifically in those dramas, really Shannon was kind of in the clear until like it came out that everything was kind of not what it seemed. And even after that, it seemed like this person specifically was still defending Shannon, so I don't know.
So let me get this straight. This girl goes around befriending YouTubers, rips off their content, says exactly what they say in less interesting ways, and then after that person puts them on their channel and asks their followers to follow them, she turns into a bitch. What a fucking cow. I want to figure out who else has she done this to, because how she talks, it can't just be Shannon. This is disgusting.
I read that weird. I feel like I read that more dramatic than it actually was, but that's how I interpreted it. I don't even care how it's actually read. That's how I interpreted it, and that's where it's gonna be.
She's so overdramatic. She's making CreepShowArt look good.
This person has hate boners for those two. We're not even getting to the Toby stuff. I don't even want to think about that drama or Toby. But that's kind of the theme with this. And by the way, if you agree with this, know how to help you. Commentary channels that literally are surrounded in the same area of commentary, the art commentary community, that have the same information because it's the same story, having the same opinion and saying the same exact thing, especially when there's over 40 of them. Color me shocked. They sound the same. It's totally just Peaches. It's not like everybody does that. This drama drama included as a prime example. Was this Shannon or not? This person is so dumb. Someone she also really went in on in the beginning and kind of later on too is someone called Lolcow. I don't know who this is again, but she was really going at this girl. She just like,
their followers are fake. I have over 10k on Instagram and I get more likes on my shit with less followers. Sorry to hear that click. She either has the most inactive following or she bought them just to fuel her ego. To be honest, I just don't think she knows how to draw anything besides crackhead girl faces. I haven't seen her draw or even try to draw any. Also a total creep show copycat. Old gossel milk, but damn, this is your edgy crackhead queen all over a flow in a song that's not even that original anyways.
And then it was like sprinkled in more bullshit. So like, you know, they did talk about the stuff with the Game Grum stalker. You know, I forget her name, but you know who I'm talking about. You've been on Shannon's channel before and you know the person that's been like low-key stalking the Game Grumps or their people for a while now. If you don't know, you can look up that video or I'll link it in the description. They talk about her a little bit, but like low-key, I don't really care because like she is kind of crazy. She is kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I can't really blame them for shit talking her. I didn't see anything too terrible anyways because she kind of makes herself look bad. So, Wow, there's more Peaches stuff than I saw before. Whoever this is mad. They're big mad at everybody. There's someone with the name Sandiner, I think. This person, because words aren't coming out of my mouth right now. Because words are trying to fight their way out of my mouth. They were talking about them and that their products are kind of shitty and cheap and overpriced, and then like just kind of threw that out there. This person also did talk about Emily Artful, which I know of her. I've seen some of her videos. I think I'm up to her, I think. She was saying some like really shitty stuff about her as well, and it's just like, but why though? Like, why do you hate these people so much but you're not stalking them like you're apparently stalking Shannon? I don't get it. Or whatever the case may be at this point. We have them talking about Emily Artful in a video that they made where they used, I believe, their grandparents' ashes and saying that they probably didn't have permission, and you know, they're just trying to be like cute with it, and it's just not working, you know?
This week in ArtTube, queen of avoiding anything art-related, Ray cleaned her room and pointed out a dead cockroach in the corner. Nice. And new contender for the ArtTube Edgelord crown, Emily Artful, painted with her dead grandparents' ashes. Does anyone really believe that her grandma gave her permission for this? Because she's been known to lie about things more than other artists, and I doubt that randomly out of the blue her grandmother asked her to do this. She's doing it for clicks and bait and for views.
Like, that's not cool. Like I don't think she stole the ashes to do a video about it. Like, at that point, like, if nothing, she could just fake put like some dirt in a thing and say it's ashes or something like that. Like, why would you say that? You know what I mean? I'm even saying this like this because like at this point you've been saying rude shit all this time. You've just been being like a dick for what reason? You've been talking shit about YouTubers that seemingly like there's just no point to it. Like, even I talk shit about certain people I don't like, but at one point it's like, I'm not gonna say all this. It's not worth the Lolcow thread. It's not worth the count. It's not worth any of it. And I promise I am just hitting the surface. There's like Lily Jean stuff. There's stuff on other friends of Shannon, I'm pretty sure. Like, she's been talking about just so much and so many people that honestly, reading them all out, it doesn't do it justice. Even if you do, you're not gonna get the point unless you just read the thread yourself. Even if you would just read through the parts of the people that you care about or you know, you get it and understand. This is like a, 2-3 year endeavor. This person was mad. They were angry and they were here for all of the necks. This person, they're being transphobic, they're being everything phobic, they're being like, they seem to be afraid and hating their own self. They were using the R slur. They were calling people autistic. It was a lot. With all that being said, that's not even my favorite part. It's not even close. It's not even close. This is my favorite part. You won't ever understand the laughter that came from my soul reading this bitch, whoever they are, talking to themselves. Like, the real laughter, the real insanity I felt watching someone respond to themselves to like try to start something and it goes nowhere. Pure joy in my heart watching that. Let me read some responses like that.
I don't think she links themselves. I'm a smaller YouTuber And her exact words were she got bored of Lolcow, and that was like 4 days ago. She's really spastic, so I think she has a short attention span or something is actually wrong with her.
And that person shows the most crop receipt of life. Doesn't even show that they're another person, just shows a screenshot. And it shows that it's coming from CreepShowArt's account, like they're messaging them, but honestly, it could literally just be a random account that they made that day or some shit. And if you don't understand this part or you're confused, I'm gonna try to break it down for you. Next big conversation.
Someone says, you know, if Creepshow lurks on here, you kind of fucked yourself with that message. Why would you out yourself?
Amy or whoever this is just like,
she's rude and I don't care if she knows I'm on here.
That same anonymous person says,
oh my god, are you trying to...
I can't.
oh my god, are you trying to get her to make a video on you?
I'm not saying it. Razzmatazz. We can go Razzmatazz.
Fucking razzmatazz.
That was in reply to the last one. So this message, this was the reply to that. They replied to themselves. And I was like so lost reading that. I genuinely was lost because I'm like, are they talking to themselves? What? Huh? What? Then later, because why not melt my brain more, you know? They say,
there's gonna be a video this week. This is so tired.
Again, responding to themselves because I guess people are supposed to think this is a different person. I don't know.
They say, I hope she does make a video because I have screenshots of her shit behavior in DMs. I asked her to collab. She gave me a bullshit answer saying she doesn't collab with people whose content she doesn't want and said she would have to take a look into me. Then when I said, just watch my content, she went on a tirade about how she doesn't have time and she was rude. She had 60k followers because she's a moron who got lucky on 2 uploads. Hope she literally falls off.
After people were like, that's kind of a petty reason to do that. She doesn't have to collab with you. You're being entitled. They respond to themselves again, saying,
it sounds like you were a brat. Yeah.
It was you! Like, I can't.
It sounds like you were a brat and tried to get her to collab with you. And when she said no, you got pissed. She doesn't have to collab with you, and actually collaborating with people she knows and trusts makes a lot more sense to me than with any creator that pops up in her DM. If you have more DMs, I say drop them so you don't look like such a tool.
The only DM we've seen was from this user. The conversation they are having or responding to with themselves. So they're responding to themselves. A DM by them. Do you see where I'm going? Do you see why I'm losing my mind? Do you see why I've been up all night and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning and why I'm probably stumbling on my words? Can you imagine? Can you imagine why I didn't have time to read all the DMs? How annoyed I am right now. You just don't understand. When I read this the first time, I was like, I don't need to see any more, but I'm gonna have to read the rest. And again, because Jesus wants to rain fire on my eye and they didn't want me to sleep. They didn't want me to win. Again, they respond to themselves. The DM thing responds to it again hours later. This isn't one after the other. These are hours, minutes later, like 45 minutes, several hours later. We get another response to themselves.
Wait, okay, you showed up in her DMs, asked to be in a video with her. She said no, and you are exposing her for saying no to you?
God, please let me ascend. I think I think anyone who's ever read this deserves to ascend. Sometimes I wonder what I did to have this curse on my existence, you know? Even another example is how someone talked about how Creepshow talks funny or can't say words.
And this person says, she says she's dyslexic and has a speech impediment, so I'm not surprised.
Right? And then later down the line, because of course, I have to read that. Someone says, hot fucking garbage. The worst part is she can't even speak properly, so her deciding to follow the views and become a commentator is hilarious. That person is just like,
I mean, she speaks fine. What do you mean?
It's like, you admit that she has a speech impediment and stuff before. Like, I don't understand. And I don't, like, you're on a page hating on her. Why are you confused? After this, it doesn't even matter. Either way, it sounds crazy. She has a speech impediment and has trouble enunciating. It's rather jarring and annoying to listen to. Which, again, same. Like, I get it if you don't want to listen to me talk. That person says,
I never noticed, so it can't be that jarring. I always thought she was trying to be funny or whatever when she fucked up a word.
You knew. You talked about previously how they had a speech impediment. What are you lying for? What is this for? These are like the points where I'm just like, why? I don't understand. I'm losing my mind. Then they're talking about her being a talentless hack, and it's going from that to doxing to this is what she deserves to this, that, angry, happy, sad, defending, she's stupid, talking to myself, going back and forth, and it's just so much. much, and I had to read all of it and then I was trying to piece everything so you could have all this information, and I'm like, who am I doing this for? We don't even know if this is creep or not. Why am I doing this work for something that may not be what it is? All I know is whoever this is fucking weird, and it's making me laugh, but it's also making my brain melt, but it's also making me ascend. I'm feeling a lot of emotions. It's also making me cry because I've been up for so long. Sorry if my reading was a little rough there. At this point, I've been reading threads. I've been reading people's responses. I've been reading a 200 plus page, almost 300 page Lolcow post twice at this point. No, actually 3 times at this point. I've been watching videos, theorizing. I've been doing a lot with no sleep. So that reading was rough for you, I would re-record it, but again, I don't have that much time. There's a lot of information. Anyways, with all of that being said, for all those things I just read off, which is a lot, here's what I got from all of this. This girl went from hating CreepShow to somewhat supporting her, to calling her shitty, but then promoting her, to shitting on her existence, her whole ass existence, when it came to CreepShow. But that's not what's bothering me about this, and that's not what kind of made it all go downhill for me. Do you guys notice this girl keeps up with way more people than CreepShow? I was expecting this to solely be a CreepShow hater, and sometimes reference people here and there when it comes to CreepShow. She went ins on Emily Artful, Peaches, Toby, some people I don't know, CreepShow's friends. And when she went in, it was almost like she had done enough research on them, and almost it seemed like she was doing less and less research or talking about topics related to CreepShow, if that makes sense. With this girl, it seemed like she was doing more research into these people, talking about them, knowing stuff about them, or following them as well. But when it comes to the spoofing, the stalking, the sending weird messages, all of these things, it didn't ever seem like she was doing that to them. Because at one point, you know, they would all be being stalked by the same person, or at one point it would all connect, you know? And she even talked about messaging said people or talking to said people. And you could only make so many fake accounts before you start forgetting passwords. You can only make so many fake accounts before people start realizing, hey, were you talking to this account too? Oh my god, I've been talking to them too, or I've seen this account too. At one point it starts to connect, but it never seemed like that was the case. And if she was making multiple fake accounts, you would think that you would see those fake accounts on other people's videos, or again, it would connect somehow. But it seemed like this person was stalking, or should have been stalking other people, but they weren't. Not to the extent apparently they were doing to CreepShow. And CreepShow is not the only person who had their information out there. If you did not know, CreepShow doxed herself. Other people have doxed CreepShow, like you know what she looks like, you know her name. But a lot of these other people, they've been doxed as well, or people know their names as well, or people can find them as well, or you would think that it would be as simple to do that to them as well. Why'd she just stop at CreepShow? And sure, CreepShow has been like, oh, you know, I'm trying to be nice about this, but I don't think for 8+ years she thinks she's that gullible to where she could just keep pushing the envelope and it'd be fine. She would have no way of knowing that, especially if she already had been being called out for that type of shit, and she knows now that CreepShow had money. There's no way that there wasn't a thing with that, you know? Or maybe there was, and that's the reason she kept doing it. I don't know, but this is all speculation at this point. It's just weird how it's just her. It's just CreepShow. It seems like she's doing this to nobody else. She knew about the Peaches drama before the Peaches drama happened. She had already been peeping game before it happened. She knew beefs. She knew way too much information a little bit beforehand. And it's just strange. So with this person being so problematic, you would think that when it comes to every decently sized drama, or when she's popping off on Twitter, when she used to have Twitter, you'd be on that, but she wasn't, and it's weird, and I don't know. I also should mention she started deleting things en masse. You really don't need to know what they were, because from what I can see that they weren't super significant. She started deleting a bunch of videos videos, which like there really wasn't a reason for them. I watched the videos, I didn't see anything that would be incriminating or anything. She just deleted them because reasons. She was deleting her stories, she deleted her post on Instagram, she deleted her Instagram herself. She deleted so much stuff, and all this wasn't at once, by the way. This was over the course of this entire drama. She was just deleting stuff, but honestly, like it's not big enough to where I have to like tell you when it happened. It's just significant that you know, because we're all looking at like, why delete stuff if you're not hiding anything? Did you get hacked again? Is that what happened? Like, why are you deleting shit? But I am gonna read off some of the deleted things, like her stories and other stuff. I just thought that I should mention that somewhere, and this seemed like an appropriate time to mention it all. Anyways, after that, there were a series of Instagram stories that I'll read off. They weren't all in order, and it wasn't like right after this. Some were before, some were after, but I only knew about it because I don't follow this bitch on Instagram until after the fact. So I'll read those off to you now.
When I say I'm handling this legally, I mean I'm handling this legally. I'm most likely not going to post until I could prove without a shadow of a doubt that what is occurring is not my doing. So I guess this is my goodbye until then. For those asking if I'm okay, no, I'm not. Everyone close to me is now confused as to what my moral character is. I've seen posts from people I've support in dark ass times saying I always knew something was wrong with her, and I'm realizing more and more a lot of what I thought was friendships were not. Shit like this fundamentally changes you, and I'm going to deal with this by myself. See you soon.
Especially because she very much told her friends not to defend her. All of these seem really manipulative, but she could be talking about anyone. She's not specifically calling people out. A lot of people were saying like, I knew it all along, and maybe those were people that were fans of her, or people that she knew have interacted with her on Twitter, and they're all being like, I fucking knew it all along. That doesn't necessarily mean her friends, so who knows? She could have been being manipulative. She could be being hurt because some people were switching their tune when they were, you know, good in her face and then talking shit behind her back, which still is ironic and kind of like, because of, you know, the current situation, so, you know. But, I mean, if she feels hurt, she feels hurt. It is what it is. I mean, nobody cares. But also, after the Lolcow stuff got kind of big, her friends were coming out and saying things and voicing their feelings. And I hope it doesn't come off bad, but their feelings don't matter in the context of understanding the entire story. They don't add anything, like, information-wise, or at least not yet anyways. They're more, like, it's just more their feelings. And honestly, Shannon told them that they shouldn't defend her, that people are going to slam them anyway, so even though that's their feelings, they know as much as we do, and just like maybe a little bit more of the story, but either way it's not adding up. I'm just gonna read a few so you get the gist of it, because a lot of them are very long, my throat hurts, and I'm still trying to keep this video digestible and make sure that you all understand the core information.
So was Creepshow Schizo posting on Lolcow or not? My grade 8 detective friend just decoded an entire tweet longer of a different girl named Shannon and realized it was the wrong one. She's saying stuff on her comm tab, it's not her, but posting this stuff. I might be done with YouTube. All I can say is that it's not me, and I'm handling this privately. I'm deciding right now to quit or continue because frankly, this is a fucking lot. If I do yeet myself off of YouTube, I'm not going to be posting on this either. I might be posting on a private account, so follow that if you want. Trying to figure out what's going on here. We spoke about this yesterday and I felt really horrible for her with her stalker, and now I'm very confused and suspicious about what has truly happened. I haven't been using Twitter as much as all, so I am here seeing this thread. I've seen some people ask about the CreepShowArt Lolcow drama. This is a thread. Shannon has been posting on Lolcow, a gossip site about influencers, since at least 2018. She has posted anonymously but admins outed her as a punishment for pretending to be her fans/haters. I think for me, the biggest thing that if a YouTube and Google account has been hacked, why wouldn't it just be changed pictures and not stealing all your personal information that is linked to it? It just doesn't really add up, and I'm really confused. There is zero evidence for both ends. The hacking just raises confusion red flags for me. I hope so dearly that none of this is true because Shannon has inspired me and helped me so fucking much since day one. She was the first YouTuber to believe in me and lift me up. If it's not true, I completely stand by her. If it is, I feel horribly deceived. Only time will tell now, and I really hope this comes to light. This thread isn't meant to come off as immediately leaning towards it being true or not, by the way. Just wanted to be fair with expressing my skepticism now that I've seen RTG's tweets in these threads rather than our own personal conversation. After the Swan incident, I think it's important not to immediately deny the possibility of a opposing side solely over your friendship with someone.
Now, when it comes to her friends, and a lot more spoke out, by the way, I'm just reading a few. It was kind of hard to read for me because I can feel how hurt or confused or betrayed they felt. And I felt for them. I mean, I feel like anybody would feel for them in this situation. But someone who also came out, and this is kind of big, was Emily Artful. Now, Emily was one of the many people Shannon was shit-talking online. And Emily came out and said this.
This just needed to be said. This woman has tormented me for years and years. I know her because my ex-boyfriend dated her after me. I moved on, but she/they continued to harass and stalk me. I am currently shaking and crying because CreepShowArt is finally being exposed for the absolute terrible person she is. I have known Shannon for many years, even years before she started her YouTube channel. She has copied, stalked, harassed, and threatened me in my children's lives. She has used revenge videos against me. She tried to use my drug addiction against me. She has literally gotten me fired from multiple jobs, causing me to be homeless. This person has pushed me to the brink of suicide many times and tried to blame it on a mutual friend when I finally caught her red-handed and traced her IP. Shannon, you are Amy. All the things you claimed Amy did to you are things you did to me. Receipts to come. I got years worth of them. The fact that she was saying her stalker did all of this to frame her is fucking hilarious because she's literally been making fake Emily Artful accounts all over the internet for years and trying to cancel me over the most random shit. What's even more fucked up is she fabricated this drama and then made a sock puppet account posing as a viewer concerned and then would send me screenshots that she took. When she first started out doing YouTube, she would deliberately copy my thumbnails or titles. They messaged me under a sock puppet account saying, "Oh my god, CreepShowArt is copying you," edging me to attack her. But guess what? I never did. I very politely asked her to maybe change her titles, but also said it was her channel and she could do whatever she wants with it. She was very nice in response and agreed to change it. Mind you, I still had no idea who she was at this point. And guess what? She went on Lolcow to claim that Emily Artful is bullying small creators with zero proof because, as I said, I was very polite. Then she screenshotted that post and sent it to me under another sock puppet. I didn't pull 2 and 2 together for a long time. Hey guys, I'm going to try to get my receipts together after I put my boys to bed tonight. In the time Shannon and her boyfriend have stalked me, I've gone through roughly 3 phones and 3 laptops, so I got to go through old tech. Thankfully, I know I have most important stuff saved. I already have a police file on her cyber harassment and has consulted with a lawyer in the past. Once I figured out who was harassing me, I just decided to let it go, and I figured eventually karma would do its job. And it looks like that's what is happening. Thank you for everyone who has reached out. Also, to clarify, I've never made a YouTube video about Shannon. I mentioned the harassment here on Twitter and briefly in other videos, but out in fear, I've never made a dedication video discussing this. I highly recommend checking out Truth Sight's YouTube video on the incident so far. She complied some really good evidence already.
Now basically, Emily's saying that this has been happening for years. She's almost sure it's Shannon. She has receipts. Like, whatever she says next in a video or whatever platform she's gonna use to say this all on is gonna blow this case wide open, and there'll be no doubt that it was Shannon. And so, patience. patiently. We all were sitting here with bated breath waiting for her response. Like, show us the receipts, Emily. Like, we need to know. And I was kind of a little bit more angsty than usual because I'm like, Shannon said they would. Everybody said they would. I don't trust anybody anymore with this. Like, I got the receipts. You just gotta wait. Drop the receipt. We need to see this. This is basically, without a shadow of doubt, we know it's her from what Emily's saying or Emily's bullshitting. So we wait, and we waited, and we waited, and obviously Emily has kids and a family, so it's going to take a while. She has 2 children on top of that, and they're both pretty young, so I know for a fact if you don't hear the kids screaming in the background, I get being overwhelmed with children. So we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and it happened. The day has come. The video drops and it's 2 hours long. Now, I have no problem going through a 2-hour long video, and I was there at the premiere. I was that invested at this point, and this is no disrespect to Emily. I just have to be real. It didn't prove much. It kind of just threw a bunch of accusations out there and proved that Emily does have a stalker and that someone close to her and Shannon has been stalking them for many years. But I'll show you all the relevant clips I have seen to the video so you understand at least a piece of what the video is. But I recommend watching the entire 2-hour video to make up your mind personally. But here are the clips.
He says back, harassing? No, I've only posted in what my accounts are, like what has my face on it. And I'm not angry, I was just curious. I figured maybe if I get more ridiculous, I'd get a response. I wanted to see where your stuff went, which is why I was bummed you blocked me. But no, I'm not angry at all. Thank you for the reason though, much appreciated. Good luck out there. If I get more ridiculous, I'd get a response. That's just pure entitlement right there, and it terrified me. It said that if I don't pay attention to this man in some way, shape, or form, give him sympathy, I don't even know what he wants, a reaction, anything, he will up the ante. And that's terrifying. I do think she is aware of the encounter, as I have received, again, YouTube comments. I believe it was just one comment basically saying that I forced another girl's boyfriend to cheat on her. So that was kind of a very specific rumor. And then they say, I have prolonged fits of daydreaming at times. Just this really, and I know it may not seem scary to some people, but to me, this is so messed up. I 100% believe that this person was in my city looking for me so that they could kill me. Like I had mentioned before, Andrew and his friend Brandon discussed at length about going into their old high school and shooting it up. Andrew had discussed donning a mask, kidnapping the people who made fun of him in high school, and torturing them. This is what was coming to the forefront of my mind when I was receiving these Snapchats. Again, I soften a little bit further and I say, lol, Andrew, okay, I will take that suggestion to heart. But can you, please stop scaring me? Call me all the names in the world. Criticize my work, that's fine. But I'm very protective of my family. And then I say, also, what did you think of the perfect poem? Was that okay? I feel like I put a lot of heart into that. And reading this disturbs me because I know myself. I hear and read that fear. I'm just like, please, can you stop scaring me? Please. I'm begging him. But I'm trying so careful not to set him off at the same time. And then I'm literally trying to appease him. If I make better content, if I make content that you don't deem as devoid and of emotion or of heart, that isn't unacceptable to you, will you leave me alone? That is how this is reading to me. So I laid out a trap where I sent one of these profiles a link pretending to be another separate hater of mine. And on that link, I attached an IP tracker. And because we had mutual friends, I knew exactly where Andrew and Shannon lived. So I sent over the bait, he clicked on the link, and wouldn't you know it, the IP address took me directly to where they were living. Back when my Facebook account was hacked, I wasn't aware that Andrew was doing any of this, right? But Facebook had sent me an email basically saying, here is where the unknown login came from. The IP address pointed to the city where Andrew was from and where he resided in at the time. And I didn't think anything of it because it was 2013. I was 21. My world was small, and like all my friends came from this specific area. So it could have been anyone, really. I would get a new message from someone I didn't know and I would be excited. Now when I get a message from someone I don't know, I feel deep, sickening anxiety. Shannon's post reads, "The people linking me to Emily Artful's video, I've seen it, and no, it wasn't me." Plays Shaggy in background. I've said multiple times that I won't collaborate with other YouTubers because I don't enjoy the implications people get from it. Even if this isn't what the person is thinking at the time, collaborating with someone is a business move. You gain from that partnership. And I never want to be in a position where someone thinks I owe my following, money, and success because of someone else. That's gross. Also, less exciting, and something I might open up more about, but for about 12 years now, I've been harassed online by the girl who catfishes me. I know it's her because she ended up admitting to it last year when I called her out on it, saying it was because she was stressed and didn't have another outlet for it. Also, she felt betrayed because I stopped responding to her emails after a while. Because of her harassing me, my boyfriend, my friends, and sometimes going as far as to try to get me fired, I don't trust people very easily online. Isn't that a coinky dink? That right there is the most passive-aggressive shit I have ever read, and is also one of the many breadcrumbs that she started leaving behind that she had a quote-unquote stalker named Amy. I think it's funny that she picked the name Amy. I think she deliberately picked a name that was very close to mine so that if I ever came out with allegations, she could be like, see, I even chose Amy because it sounds like Emily. And of course, she picked all the things that she did to me, so then I couldn't even come out if I wanted to, because then it would seem like I was copying her instead of her copying me. Now, the reason I think she started leaving breadcrumbs when she did is because that Snapchat exchange that I had with Andrew, I obviously screenshotted all of that. What does Snapchat do when you screenshot? It notifies the other party. So at that point, they would have been made aware that I was compiling evidence against them. I had also stated publicly, whenever I had just mentioned my stalker in passing, that the way I am trying to protect myself is saving everything.
Here are some tweets that I found where she is describing someone who is stalking her, and the parallels are way too similar to think that this is not about Creepshow. Here is what she said. Apparently, I'm a terrible person who deserves to be stalked and harassed because I grew up and didn't dwell on the past. Fuck me, right? And this was on October 24th, 2017. She continued on January 8th, 2019 with this thread. She began the thread by linking to a video by Psych IRL, which was regarding James Charles. And then she said this. This is a very important video to watch. As someone who has dealt with a cyber stalker for 8+ years, this really hit home for me. This person has an inappropriate picture of me when I was underage and they used to taunt me with it. They got it by hacking into one of my personal accounts. At the time, I was too ashamed to tell anyone because I was trying to clean my act up, but I'm not anymore. This person was cruel and unrelenting. The only time I'd be left alone is if I stopped making content. I believe that was their overall goal, was to get me to stop making content. Music, art, videos, anywhere on the internet, they'd find me and harass me to try to get people to rally against me by spreading truths mixed in with clever lies. I'm not afraid anymore. I just think people need to be more careful about what they share because I was young and dumb, and back then people didn't realize that the internet really is forever.
For the sake of authenticity and time, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it in. Are you the one that's been stalking me? Or is it Andrew? We can be candid now because I know it's one of you. Those fake accounts you've been making have led me right to Oregon. I suspected it was him at first when he went on a spree on his main account on Twitter, trying to convince my followers I bought my subscribers and my views. Almost immediately after he did that, a mysterious new Twitter account accused me of the same thing, also with an IP from that area in Oregon. When I first started to get harassed, you both must still have been in San Jose, because that IP came from somewhere in San Jose. But at the time, I had no idea who it was. But now, over time, in order to protect myself and my family, I decided to get smarter. So I just really don't know if it's you or him. Either way, I've been giving all this information to the police, including the more accurate IP from that Lily Singh account. All I ask is to be left alone by you and your boyfriend. It's been 8 years. I also forgot to mention that I baited that Lily Singh account into clicking a link with an IP tracker that led me straight to their new location because they had since moved. Now, interestingly enough, one of the IPs that I had tracked to where they had lived before was from a library. Come to find out that when Shannon and Andrew were living in their car, they had used a library for their internet access, which I now know from watching some of Shannon's older videos. In fact, the person who was stalking me all this time was definitely Shannon and Andrew. Shannon says, literally neither, dude. I say, then why did your boyfriend go off on me randomly for quote unquote buying subs and views? Like from his actual account. This happened almost a year ago. Shannon says, look, honestly, I'm sorry from what you've gone through. I don't know you all that well. But accusing us of doing shit we don't know about isn't cool. Like, Andrew already told me that you thought he did it, and honestly, I didn't worry about it because it didn't seem like that big of a deal. Also, about the sub-buying thing, I got message about that as well. Like 5 accounts messaged me, and I know they messaged other art YouTubers. They also messaged me edits of shit about you from before the Emily Artful account. Shit that is literally none of my business. That makes no fucking sense. Why would this person who has shit on me send stuff to Shannon but no other commentary drama channel? If they really had shit on me, don't you think they would really want to try to get it out there? No, this is just 1, a cover-up, and 2, this is her in a very roundabout, sneaky way. This is how manipulative she is. Telling me that she still has those photographs of me. Hey, do you know those photographs where you're in compromising outfits and positions, and in some of those pictures you're a minor? Yes, I still have those. I said, look, all I am saying is I want to be left alone. If it's not you, then great. But I just find it strange. I have 0 contact with Andrew, and then he just explodes at me randomly from his personal account with his name attached to it. Shannon says, I feel ya, but I can guarantee it's not him. If you want to Skype or FaceTime, I'm up for it, because literally I have nothing to hide on this end. Yeah, you do, Shannon. Yeah, you do. And with that being said, Andrew has a trollish sense of humor. He thought it was funny, but I guess it crossed a line. I said, really? I don't believe that, because literally no other art YouTuber has said anything about that to me. I'm friends with a handful of them. Why just you? Please understand why this sounds strange. Shannon says, no, I get it. I had screenshots from them that they had sent to other people, and then when I went to report them, they deleted the account. I said, yeah, I get it would be like him if I had had any contact with him. He wasn't even following me at the time. It was 100% random. 100%. It was very confusing to me. I want you guys to remember what she says here. Shannon says, their name was also like Filter. They also had like a sob story about how you wronged them once upon a time. Again, none of this was my business. And Andrew told me about how you were harassed back in the day. So I just thought it was another one of those anime fanboys who wanted attention. Again, he thought it was funny. They had sent him shit and we don't have the time to mess with you. Honest to God. We've been homeless on and off, working shitty jobs and working on our art a lot. Like, we don't have time to obsess over you and your really cute family. I want to say no offense, but like, that's not offensive. Shannon continues, I get where you're coming from with the accusation. I have been harassed by a girl who catfished me for about 12 years now. I find that really interesting because 4 months after this, she made her I was stalked, for 8+ years story time. I know exactly how long I have been stalked by you, Shannon. I think it's weird that you put 8+ in your title when you tell me 12 years. Why wouldn't you just say, I have been stalked for 12 years in your title? I don't know. I just thought that inconsistency was interesting. Shannon continues, to the point where she tried to convince my mom I was a cam girl and photoshopped nudes of me. See, I find things like this interesting because I was a cam girl for a open wound. Shannon continues, I can't really explain why Andrew is as random as he is, though. That one's a mystery. I think he just thought it would be funny. It wasn't, but he'd never intentionally try to hurt you. He's got a lot of respect for you. Like, you've collaborated with him in his music. You know how important that is to him. He's not the type of person who lets someone in like that and then switches on him, If that makes sense. I feel like it does. I don't know. Like I had meant, because she remembers it so readily. Just some food for thought. Shannon says, and I feel ya. I really do. I get where you're coming from on this. But no one here has the time to mess with you. I said, yeah, I promise you there are things that don't make sense to me either. There are several things that make me think it's not Andrew, but there are just a lot of uncanny coincidences, and it may just be that, coincidences. But this is the route I've decided to take, and the truth is, even though I'm mostly convinced, I still respect his intelligence, his art, your intelligence, your art, your lives. I don't want to get in anyone's way. I just want to make stupid art videos for my internet friends. I want to live in peace. I can take the hate, but I can't take the fear of losing my job and not being able to support my kids or losing my kids. Shannon said, honestly, there's no way for me to prove it's not me, but it'll sort itself out. No, I completely understand that point. You have a family. As someone who's sensitive issues, that's a huge deal for me. I would never try to hurt someone like that. But there is no way you can actually know that for sure, because you don't know me. And then because of what she mentioned, I start to soften a little bit, to have some sympathy for her. And I say, yeah, I know, Shannon. I know you don't, and I'm sorry. I really am sorry. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. But I just have to do this. When I first suspected Andrew, I actually worried about you. Part of me wanted to reach out to make sure you were okay, but I wasn't sure what was real or what wasn't. Shannon said, all I know is that he has too much respect for you to do that. I don't know you well enough to spend that much time on it, and you need to do what's right for you. No, I completely understand. If I thought your partner was doing that, I'd probably want to reach out too. You don't have to be sorry. I understand. I completely get it. When I was going through shit, I once accused my sister of being behind it, so I understand. Then I said I thought it was maybe Andrew and Brandon for a time, especially because Brandon is so intense and that can be contagious. And then when I brought up Brandon, it was like she saw an out and pounced on it. Shannon said, I think it's Brandon. Last year, Brandon tried to get me fired because Andrew essentially chose me over him. Also, he tried to have an art YouTube, and it hasn't been going well. We all moved to location together, lived in cars together, and he essentially tried to drive Andrew and I apart. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him. I asked, where does Brandon live now? Shannon said, mainly because he's tried shit with me before and Andrew had to step in. I don't know. Somewhere in location still. But I don't talk to him or look at his shit. I had to block him because he started messaging my followers, telling them I was a cunt and shit. Sounds really familiar, Shannon continues. He directly tried to sabotage my channel a couple of times. Sounds really familiar. I said, could he possibly live in location? I know that's where you guys were originally headed. Shannon says, I think so, yeah. I don't know for sure, but it's a couple hours away. I said, his last name was spelled last name, right? Shannon said, yes. Oh, apparently he lives in location. I just asked Andrew. Neither of us has talked to him for a year or so. I said, okay, I'll give that information to the PI. Look, you don't know how badly I want to believe it's not you guys. I wanted to believe it was some random nut job. Shannon said, yeah, I completely understand. Completely. Do what you need to do. And as for Brandon, if he is or was behind it, we didn't know. Andrew wouldn't have let you near him, and I just didn't like being around Brandon in general. Shannon continues, you need to keep yourself safe and do what feels right. Getting a PI and protecting your family is exactly right. I have nothing but respect for that. No judgment, no bullshit. I understand. I've been through it, and had she not admitted to doing it, I would be where you are now. I said, yeah, but it's surprisingly a lot more complicated and expensive. Again, I ran out of money. Than they make it look on TV. So fucking expensive. But yeah, look, please tell Andrew I'm sorry as well. If I'm wrong, I'm a scared fucking idiot. Shannon said, no, you're not an idiot. This has been happening for years, so you're not dumb at all. I'm still paranoid to the point where I don't tell people online shit until it's 2 years old because I don't want them tracking me. I said, thank you for understanding. I wish you both literally nothing but good things and happiness. I truly do, from the bottom of my heart. That's all any of us could ever want. Shannon said, back at you. We have similar experiences. Way to cover your ass, Shannon, which is terrible, but it's at least some common ground. And back at you. You have a supportive husband, very cute baby, and a great career. You should be extremely proud of yourself. I'm oddly proud of you, and I don't even know you. If you ever need more info on either Andrew, Brandon, or I, either to clear my name or even if it makes us look worse, let me know. I said, yes, exactly. Lol. Thank you, Shannon. You both are wildly talented and intelligent people. And I'd ask for more information, but I worry about doing wrong to you unjustly. Like, I could just ask for your exact address and have Andrew served with papers, but I truly worry if I was wrong, I'd feel awful. I'll just let the PI and the police take care of it. This person, whoever it is, has been doing less in recent years, so I'm just hoping they stop altogether. It's motherhood that's made me distressed and paranoid more than anything. Okay, we were missing a few of the original screenshots at the end, so I went to my Instagram. Thankfully, Shannon did not delete her Instagram. She just deleted everything off of it, so I was still able to access the old DMs, and I took new screenshots. I have since gotten a new phone, so that's why the screenshots look a little different. Shannon discloses some personal information that I don't feel comfortable sharing with the public, and she says, I'm not uber public with that because I hate the idea of people pitting me, and I'm also super private with it. And then some other private information that alluded to the previous private information, more private information. And then she asked, and sever with payers? What does that mean? And I said, no, I won't tell a soul, I promise. Then Shannon said, you're the only one who knows other than Annie. I don't know who that is. I said, oh my bad, papers. When a restraining order is set, one is served with papers, either at their place of work, home, a place they frequent, or in this case, where the IP is coming from. Shannon said, oh, okay, if I give you a P.O. box, would it be okay to serve them there? Or can we get something notarized that says something similar? That way you don't have to spend any money, you have a legal document stating we won't contact you, and if it ends up being not us, we can just let bygones be bygones. I don't know, I just realized that makes no sense. I said, actually, that would be great. Is the P.O. box in your name or Andrew's? This would probably help eliminate you guys, if anything. Shannon says, it's both of ours. My full name is Shannon, last name, if that also helps. I said, you don't understand how much I appreciate this. You really don't. Yes, the P.O. address would be great. She gives me her P.O. box. I said, I'm actually getting a little emotional because I've been so worried it's been you guys. Thank you so much. Shannon said, no, I understand completely. I really am happy to help, even if that means following a restraining order or a notarized letter. Regardless, I know how important it is to feel safe, and you deserve that much. I said, I might be able to just hire an attorney that can write up a document so no one has to deal with police dealings, but I'll have to look into it. I'll talk to the PI next week. The P.O. box may just totally clear you right off the bat. Thank you again so much. From woman to woman, thank you for being kind. Truly, I hope you have a life filled with nothing but success. Andrew as well. You both have a great night. Shannon said, Brandon also used to be on the P.O. box. That might be important. But no problem, it's not hard to be kind, and especially in this situation. Really? It seems like it's really hard for you to be truly kind, Shannon. It's hard enough going through what you went through, and we're both more than happy and willing to sign something that says we will not contact you again in any form ever again. And back at you, I'm happy this helps, and happy this made you feel at least a little bit better. It was never my intention to make you feel any which way, but I understand where you're coming from and why you did. Never feel like you have to apologize for that. And I said, thank you so much. Good night. And that was it. After that conversation with Shannon, I never received another threat or taunt again. And that, to me, just further solidified in my mind that my stalker was Shannon and Andrew. Back to the original Brita filter message I had received back in 2018. And if you recall, at the beginning of the conversation I had with Shannon, she did mention this account. She said this account specifically had sent her some dirt on me, but she had tried to report it, but then when she went back, they had deleted their account. Well, apparently not. Also, she tried to paint this account as being malicious towards me, but you'll see. Brita filter says, Hi, Emily. You don't know me, but unfortunately, I know you. I want to explain this as clearly as possible, but it's very difficult for me to get my words out right now with everything I have found and what's going on around me. I don't expect you to reply. I just want you to know what happened because in a weird way, it does affect you. My brother has been a quote-unquote fan of you for a while now. He has apparently watched all of your videos and has them saved on his computer. There are some of you where you're singing and it's fairly grainy, all the way up to some that I see you are currently posting on YouTube. He has pages and pages of screen names, information on you, and things that I don't think any person should have on someone. Essentially, if you put it out on the internet, he has it. I also found screenshots of when he has harassed you. He made accounts on YouTube years ago pretending to be a girl named Ava, I think she means Aja, but whatever, and bothered you then. I believe he has a list of your past employees, one being an optical shop, and though I am not sure, I believe he might have sent them things about you. He made various Twitters and sent you messages about other people and things that have nothing to do with you. He even started reaching out to various people, followers of you on YouTube and Instagram with quote-unquote proof that you buy subscribers. I know via screenshots that he sent these with little notes on them. If I had known about this sooner, I would have stopped it sooner. But unfortunately, our family has some communication problems. In this modern age, it's hard to find a reason to check someone else's computer for anything, but I think my parents should have been more attentive with that. I was using his computer for schoolwork and found everything. Even videos of you in a bathtub, which I thought as inappropriate, and I truly don't understand how he got those. I took the laptop and showed the information to my family, and we have all decided it is in his best interest to go to a mental health facility and be cut off from this. I don't know what else I can say, but I am sorry. He was and is a kid, and is currently only 15. I don't know when you started posting or what he first saw of you, but for some reason, you became his fixation. He is going to be receiving help and counseling, and we are going to be spending thousands of dollars to figure this out. I refuse to let this happen to any other woman. I am sorry for doing this anonymously, but because my brother is a child, my parents have told me not to speak out about this with anyone else outside of family. I know that must be inherently frustrating for you, but it's important to me that you at least know that this problem was seen and will be taken care of. If there is anything else you want to know, please don't hesitate to ask. I only made this account to let you know what is going on because I felt that it was close to criminal for you to not know about something that so dearly affects you. I know when I was being harassed online at the age of 13, my trust in people went down because I couldn't know who did it. I want to tell you it was my brother, a boy you don't know, who at a very young age found you online and became obsessed. There is no other way to say it. He became obsessed. I hope that eases your mind and your heart, and I hope you have a beautiful life again. If you need anything else, let me know. I said, would you be able to do me a favor so I know this is all real? I need to see/talk to you on video chat, Snapchat, Instagram, Skype, it doesn't matter, because all this information seems suspicious to me. It's exactly what's happened to me to a T, obviously with a huge handful of things missing and some things that I didn't even know that they had on me. And I find it very strange that all this information would be in one place, especially some of the more personal things, like him getting me fired from my job. Unless he specifically wrote that down somewhere, which would also be strange, I just find it unusual. Also, this has been happening for 5 years. I just find all this hard to believe that a 10-year-old would do what quote-unquote he did back then. I find it all hard to believe, especially because I know it's you, Andrew, and I don't think you can fulfill my video chat request. And I've already decided I'm not going to take this anymore. I can't be held down by my past mistakes. I've worked hard to improve myself as a person and on my mental health. I needed to be a better person. I am a better person because of my mistakes. You can't hurt me anymore. Brita Filter says, if you don't believe me, that is okay, because of what has happened and the legality of it all. My parents are not comfortable with that, but I understand your issues. I hope you find peace, and I am glad you've moved beyond this. Personally, I am sorry that this has happened to you, and I wish you nothing but the greatest success. As for how we know he got you fired and information of the like, he has a video of you crying where you state someone got you fired and text documents of him taking credit for it. Though I doubt I will be able to convince you that this is legitimate, I do hope that you find peace with this, and I understand the trust is not here. If I could Skype with you without risk, I would, but according to my parents, that is a risk they don't want me taking. Meanwhile, I hope you know these were not your mistakes. These were my brother's, and he will be paying for them. You didn't and do not deserve to pay for my brother's misgivings. This will most likely be my last time using this account. I do appreciate your time, and I hope from the bottom of my heart and soul that you continue to do well. I pray you are able to forgive those in your life, and I know you will continue to thrive. Thank you for at least listening to what I've had to say and letting me know that words have gotten to you. God bless.
And after those clips, I'm like, okay, so basically you have the IP. You had a conversation with Shannon, and that's kind of it. Now, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, she proved that the boyfriend, which we don't know if it's Shannon's husband or not, that person has been stalking Emily for several years. There's no doubt about that. Is it Shannon? There's reasonable doubt still. There's a reason why cases like this don't just immediately go to the cops. It's really hard to prove. And in this situation, popular opinion says yes, but facts and evidence say maybe not. Emily did put out many other posts that helped her claim a bit more, but when it comes to proof, hell, Emily can't even go to the police. She can't even go to the courts, not only because it would take a lot of money, but even if she started a GoFundMe and got her arrested, it still would be hard to prove. Even her lawyer said that. So I'm not coming out with this conclusion out of my ass. Even her lawyer said it would be really hard to prove, because it is. So here's my conclusion. Do I think Shannon did it? Yeah, there's a lot of coincidences that it would even be hard for me to really, with my whole chest, explain away. Is there a lot of proof that she did it? No. And let's look at the facts so we understand why I come to this conclusion. The IP thing, she could literally just be stupid. That could be the end of the story. I didn't know what spoofing an IP meant. I didn't know how it worked. You guys didn't know how it worked. Most people didn't know how it works. A lot of people had to explain to us how it made no sense. Even with Ready to Glare, she was like being like, oh, that's shitty for my friend because she believed it, because she doesn't even know how that works. Someone had to explain that to her, so it made sense. So for Shannon not to understand how that made sense, or for her boyfriend to come up with some bullshit and tell her that's what it is, or her husband rather, that's not an unrealistic thing. Like, for her just to be stupid and said the wrong thing, that's not unrealistic. It's not even like, oh, why would she do that? Because she's dumb. Has she been hyperbolic in the past? Yes. Has she gotten information wrong in the past? Yes. And said it with her whole chest? Yeah. And realistically, if I'm playing devil's advocate, she would be in like a panic state, so of course she would get some shit wrong. That's not unrealistic. It just isn't. Like, even though I don't believe it, it just isn't. Like, that's just the truth. I'm sorry. Hell, even the boyfriend-husband thing is up for fucking debate. It could be her boyfriend. It could be her husband. We don't know. Also, looking back at it, what also is weird, it's a whole, like, Instagram messages that Emily read out. They all seem weird, and they all came from Shannon's account. Who knows that that's Shannon? Apparently, they share a cell phone, her and her husband, so who knows that was Shannon? Who knows that wasn't Shannon? That makes it more muggy that her friend came out and told Emily that they share a phone, or they did share a phone at one point, and stopped sharing a phone. With all the evidence Emily said she has, all that evidence points to the boyfriend. People have whole children, whole families behind their spouse's back. You think because her husband and her share a phone that means that she knew about it? Incognito mode exists. That does not hide your IP. That exists. Deleting cookies exists. Deleting the history exists. And if you're only using like one site, like Twitter or this, you wouldn't even have to do that much. If I saw Twitter in my history, I would just think he was going on regular Twitter. It's not hard. If I saw Lolcow in my history, all he has to do is do an advanced search for Lolcow and delete every single one. It's not hard. We also found out that Shannon has dummy accounts. And I'm sorry to say that, to burst you guys' bubble, but the fact that you guys proved that she used sock account. I use a sock account. What are you talking about? I literally have an alt account. Your point? She's a drama channel. So to get past blocks, to get past information that people are actively hiding from her because of a block, or even for me, what I use my alt account for is when I want to follow drama, but I don't want drama to be all up in my timeline, I will sometimes take some people off my regular account and follow them on the block account, or I'll only use the block account to follow their stuff, so nobody's recommending me random shit and anything like that. So like proving that she used sock accounts, a lot of YouTubers, especially drama YouTubers, use sock accounts or alts. Maybe not to, like, you didn't even prove that that account harassed anybody. It was literally just, oh well, she had a account. It's like, okay. And by the way, just because your spouse and you share a phone, because my boyfriend for the longest time, he doesn't anymore because I don't like him seeing like the ugly face pictures I send to myself. It's uncomfortable personally. Like, he had the thumbprint to my phone, so he could just get into my phone. It was his thumbprint actually that was in my phone as well. He could just get into my phone. That doesn't mean he was gonna find that type of stuff. I could just delete it. And when I would look at weird stuff and I know that he would question it, I would just delete the shit. It's not hard. And it was for multiple devices, so he could have used the phone sometimes and then just used his computer and laptop other times. It's not hard. Like, I want to be like, oh yeah, it's such like concrete evidence. It's not. Like, if I wanted to hide from my boyfriend that I was attacking him online, I could literally do that right now. I could literally, for example, Emily also claims that a YouTuber came to her anonymously and said these things, and basically just said that Shannon was talking about her in a derogatory way and really mad at her, and it was just some petty shit, and they never understood why Shannon was even coming to them with it. It was dumb. Like, I get that it's like, oh well, she's credible. Listen, if you learn something from this drama, I don't go off of credibility. You shouldn't go off of credibility alone. Why don't these people come forward? If you believe that Shannon did this and that's why you came forward because you think this information would be helpful, show yourself. Like, point blank period. Like, we're not doing this like anonymous stuff anymore. If like that person shouldn't have even been used as a credible source at that point, because it could be anybody. You could be making this up. Like, we don't know. And even now, like literally a second ago, talking about CreepShow's sister knew she was abusive because this long ass post, and in the post she talks about how her family was kind of shitty, how her sister was shitty, things that her sister did, all that, and all this girl is talking about is how the sister said the boyfriend was abusive. For what reason, we really don't know. Shannon says because he's straight and white, but it could be for any reason. Like, they then go to discredit this post later because this post talks about how she had a brother who died. Then people are trying to say that wasn't her brother, it was her uncle. I'm not even showing you all these receipts. You can go look for them yourself because it doesn't matter. This doesn't prove anything. It's just, she said this one thing. Let's take it and try to make it something that we can't even prove. Like, it's just, I get that everybody's stressed out. I get that people are being pushed to talk about the situation. I get that everybody's just a little bit on edge. And so all this theorizing and things like that, I'm just not here for it anymore. It was cool the first couple of days or the first week, but after going through this for as long as we've been going through this, I say as if we're really impacted by it, but you know what I mean. Like, from following this as long as I've been following this, at this point, I don't want theories. I don't think anybody needs theories. If you don't have solid proof, everything is alleged. Everything can be explained in some way, shape, or form. It might not be the most clean, black and white answer. Nothing is in life, but for the internet's sake, it's not the clean, black and white answer we all want, but it can be something that's salvageable for her career. I have to be honest here. No matter how many flimsy speculations people throw out, it's not going to change the fact that you don't have concrete evidence. So there's always a way that she can explain at least some of what is going on. She'll have to admit to some of it, but she can explain away the ones that really like would have her canceled forever. Like, do you guys not realize that even in murders and shit like that, the family members of that person never know that's happening? Like, it'll be literally happening where they'll be stalking someone, harassing someone, doing weird shit, and it'll be like the wife, the people who use the computer or the thing will never know. That's like documented shit. Like, you can find that shit in the news, stories about that type of shit. You think Jared's from Subway's wife knew that he was doing that shit? They had no idea, because you can just delete shit. The government might know. Hell, if Emily matched up the IP with the Lolcow forum, then she'd have something. Well, not even that. I can't even say she would have something there, because again, Shannon could have no idea. So I honestly, with like my entire heart, believe she was on the Lolcow forum. Oh, I definitely believe it was the Lolcow forum was her. Like, I couldn't think of it being her husband because it would make no sense. But when it comes to the stalking and stuff, that could easily just be her husband. Easily. It would even be even harder to connect them, those two things. Her husband being the stalker and Shannon being the stalker, and then it could literally just be a different thing of like her husband being like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm just not gonna tell you, and Shannon being like, okay, well, I don't care about Emily like that, but I'm gonna shit on her on this Lolcow forum. It could literally be them working together but doing things separately. Then we would have to hold them accountable separately. We don't even know that much to be able to make that connection. I'm not saying Emily's crazy. I'm not saying I don't believe her. I'm not saying that everybody's experiences with Shannon are wrong and all of that. That is not what I am saying. I am saying facts wise, we have little. Now with common sense, with connecting the dots, with actually thinking about every single coincidence there would be in this situation, if anyone, and I have this opinion as well, but if anyone came to the conclusion that it's Shannon, what are you talking about? It's definitely Shannon. I wouldn't even think you were crazy. I think you were plenty sane and you came to a pretty obvious conclusion, but I can't leave that part out. I can't leave the part out where some of this is, well, no, I'm sorry, all of this is circumstantial at best. Like, I can't have you guys thinking that this is just cold hard facts. It's not. Because that's kind of a problem with the art commentary community right now, and with many communities. We think that because something's super circumstantial and it has so many ins and outs that it's fact. It's not. But it's not even unrealistic for you to believe that. Hell, if Shannon doesn't want her friends defending her because this shit doesn't make fucking sense, then that is what it is. Shannon could get out of this, which is the worst part. And people don't want to think she can, but she can. Even I was just like, there's no way she's coming back from this. What do you mean? But she could. If it was just shitting on her friends and that was the only offense, honestly, she could come back. If she was like, I don't know what my husband was doing, and I think it was him, and I've divorced him, and I've left him, and like, that's the end of it. If she comes back like that, I totally believe her. At that point, I just hate her for shitting on her friends and being a shitty person. And she could get away scot-free with that. That's not a crime. That's not illegal. And as crazy as this guy has been throughout the years, it makes sense. This guy has been crazy the entire time. Also, I should mention this. The thing about her choosing to be homeless, we don't know Shannon's story, and it's kind of gross to assume anything otherwise. I know Emily didn't mean anything by it, but don't do that. As someone who actively chose to be homeless, because I did the exact same thing. I was homeless, and I chose it. I chose it because I was in an abusive household, and I was literally having panic attacks every day, and I felt like it was literally like, it was this or jump off a cliff. That was literally the option. And I was like, okay, let me leave. And homelessness was hard, and it sucked. I didn't enjoy and it wasn't like a happy, fruitful time. However, if it was going back into that house and going through the mental trauma it felt, like, don't try to diminish the homelessness. Like, it's a fun thing to do. Like, they had fun doing it. Like, it was just like a road trip to them. Like, they didn't have a van. They said they had a car. They were very much open with that, where she was showering in the YMCA. It was not fun. Don't ever try to diminish what happened to her in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not just saying this about Emily, and I'm not saying it really about Emily, because I don't think Emily tried to. She might have kind of came off that way, but like, I know she didn't try to. But the people who are just like, wow, she chose to be homeless, don't even. Sometimes you gotta make that mental choice to leave your toxic household. Sometimes you're not even getting what you need when it comes to your house. Sometimes you're not getting the medical care you need. Sometimes you're not, I'm projecting at this point, but sometimes you don't get the medical care you need. Sometimes you don't get the respect you need. They weren't giving me food. I was literally eating rice and gravy from pocket change. I would get on, don't even get me started on what was happening to me. We were literally kicked out. It wasn't even in my house. It was, you know what? My point is, as someone who was genuinely affected that way, it's gross to do that. Don't do that. Like, don't try to make it like it was that's a fun choice to have. And she did it for years. Anyways, at the end of the day, with everything that's happening, and what Peaches has made a video about this, other people have made videos on their experiences or talked about their experiences with Shannon, with everything that has happened. Honestly, I wouldn't blame you either way. If you're like, there's no concrete evidence, so I'm not going to necessarily like shit on her with all of my very being like everybody else on Twitter and everywhere pretty much, I would not blame you. I'd be blaming you if you were just straight up defending her, like, there's just no way that it could. Like, I'd be questioning your common sense here. But if you were just like, I'm not gonna say anything because honestly, there's no solid proof, I wouldn't blame you. If you're shitting on her for all of her life and like getting on her for stuff, like, I also wouldn't blame you either. At the end of the day, we'll never really know the truth. She could come back and take partial blame for this. I think a lot of people would be like, it's in the past, we don't know, there was no solid evidence, because literally there's like 400 ways to where she didn't know about this. Like, it's not even unrealistic. Like 100%, it's not even unrealistic that she would know about it. Someone doing something quietly on a phone is not like, their partner isn't aware. Now, if she ever came back and was like, I did it all, you're going to jail, first of all. But also, you're taking it a step too far. Hell, not even thinking about it, I lied. That means she doxed somebody. And that's too much. I probably wouldn't. She's fucked either way at that point, actually. So, either way, she's a shit person and a weirdo and crazy and out of her mind. And all the testimony from her friends does confuse me a bit because, sure, a lot of them are like, yeah, this doesn't sound believable. She seems crazy. But also, a lot of them have been like, I've seen her do nice and great things and give to people. And Nani made a whole video. But we have to realize that these parasocial relationships we have with people aren't normal. And not even just the parasocial ones. I mean, just these relationships we have with online creators. You'll never know who someone truly is. You can barely get that out of like a regular person that you meet face to face. When someone on the internet, they can be hiding who they are for years and years and you'll never know. I've made this joke on stream. I could literally be smoking crack as we're talking. Just doing a line, packaging coke and sending it off. I could be doing that right now and you'd never know. I could be rolling blunts while we're talking right now in between cuts. You'd never know. People have done heroin without their subs knowing, unless it like starts physically showing. People have had eating disorders. People have been going through stress. There's a whole thing with YouTube burnout and you might never know. And some people don't even get that burnout. They're just happy all the time and doing their thing and they just love their jobs. And you'd think they would be burned out and they're not. You never know who that person behind the screen is. So as much as we want to think that Shannon would do this, she wouldn't do this, we wouldn't know. That's why you have to take everything someone says with a grain of salt. I'm not saying you can't like a creator or like someone here on YouTube. That's not my point. My point is that you just have to not idolize these people like they're not human. They are human beings. We make mistakes. We do cancelable things. The thing about it is us being better and moving forward and trying to keep ourselves accountable. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. Tell me how you feel about this drama. Tell me if you disagree with me, you agree with me, if I'm trash. Thank you to the people who made these pretty pieces of fan art for me. I'm actually really thankful for them because you guys draw better than me. This has been over so many days. I'm so tired. And so with all this being said, at this point, don't you ever bring up Shannon, CreepShow, Anthony, any of these people. Amy. I'm Amy. I'm still Amy to this day. Please don't bring up his stuff anymore. Like, that's a joke, but like, I'm low-key being serious. It's like, I don't want to hear her name ever again until it comes out of like her having a response or her being a better person or her admitting to it or something like that. If that is what it is, tell me. If it's not, unless somebody has some solid concrete proof, I don't want to hear her name again anywhere else but under the comments of this video. Cool? Cool. All right. Goodbye.
Could have been stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there, made us realize we're